Hello! Several days ago, our manager who edits all my videos told me that there is still one video from February that we recorded back in February and completely forgot about it. Video was recorded just 1 week before the war started in Ukraine. It is all about women whom you might meet on dating agency websites. Now these numbers may be about 20 or 30% lower than it was before the war. And after the war in Ukraine is over, these numbers would be about 20 to 30% higher because everything rises in price. In this video, I also talk about corruption in Ukraine. Information about corruption is valid as of February 2022. And now in Ukraine, I must admit that there is less corruption from government, simply because small businesses do not work. Well, at least 70% of small businesses are closed now. Middle-sized business, maybe 50% are closed. So even theoretically, less businesses are open and less corruption there is. We will not be talking about big businesses, about big corporations, because rules of the game that they play on, let's say, business market are absolutely different. And as in many countries, those rules have been there, let's say, for tens of years. Even after the war started, those rules continue to be there now, and I am sure that when war is over, those rules will continue to be valid as well. So for big businesses, nothing is changing, whatever happens in the country, and no matter what will happen in the country. How all these things with corruption in Ukraine will be after the victory, nobody knows. But we will just have to wait and see how it will all go. I have some thoughts about how things with corruption will go, but let's hope I am wrong about them. But before we start, don't forget to like this video if you really like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, as about 80% of those people who watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel. Please motivate me and subscribe so I can record even more videos for you in the future. Enough of words, and let's return back to peaceful and happy Odessa 7 months earlier, to my office. Hello! In first part of this video, I have talked about salaries and minimal wage in Ukraine from employer's point of view. I have discussed how people in Ukraine get paid, why most people do not trust government and don't believe in pension fund, and how many people actually are registered as private entrepreneurs and pay taxes. If you haven't watched that first video, please watch it right now, and then you can come back to watch this video because you will have a much better understanding of how salaries in Ukraine are getting paid. In this video, I will talk about how much Ukrainian people really earn. I will talk how much money is enough to live in capital city of Kiev, in big cities of Ukraine, in small cities, as well as in villages. Additionally, I will tell you how much money top managers in Ukraine earn, how much money those government officials earn, and how much money do those girls that you meet on dating agency websites earn when they're doing their real jobs. But before we move on, please check if you're subscribed to my channel, because as you can see right here, only 1/3 of people who watch these videos are subscribed to my channel, and 2/3 are not subscribed. Please motivate me to record more videos for you and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And of course, do not forget to like this video if you really like it, and ask any questions if you think I've missed out something for this video. So let's talk about real salaries. How much really do people in Ukraine earn? The highest salary is, of course, in the capital city of Kiev. That is why many people come to Kiev to work from all over Ukraine, from big cities, from smaller cities, and of course from villages. Average salary in Kiev is between $600 and $1,000. In big cities like Odessa, Lviv, Dnipro, Kharkiv, average salary is between $500 to $700. And if we take smaller cities like Nikolaev, Kherson, Sumy, Ternopil, Khmelnytsky, Ivano-Frankivsk, average salary will be between $400 to $500 US per month. These amounts are earned by more or less qualified men and women, and it is enough for many people to pay their bills, to have money for food, maybe for entertainment, maybe even to have one car in a family, to afford vacation, maybe in Turkey, in Egypt, or maybe even 2 vacations locally per year. Also, this money is enough to pay for clothes and to pay for medicine, since we don't have any health insurance. If somebody gets sick, we have to buy medicine, we have to pay for it 100%. And those numbers are enough for these purposes. Of course, people who work in supermarkets, in McDonald's, in KFC, who work as couriers, waiters, and so on, they get minimal salary, like about 6,000 hryvnias. That's what they get into their bank accounts. And they work like that maybe for 1, 2, or 3 months. And they try to find a better job, a better, more paid job. Frankly speaking, I don't know how they live for such small amount of money, but many people really earn such small amounts of money. And those people are usually from nearby villages, and they spend for transport maybe about $50 to $60 per month. And so they're left with $150, maybe $140, and that's not enough for good food, to buy clothes, and to entertain yourself. So that is why those people try to find better job as fast as they just can. Top managers, lawyers, IT specialists, doctors earn much more money, from maybe $2,000, $3,000 and up to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per month. But those people are usually registered as private entrepreneurs and work as vendors for companies. There is a category, of course, of people who work for government, and they have official salary, and it is from about 10,000 hryvnias, and salaries go up to 20, 30, 40, 50, 70,000, even 100,000 hryvnias per month. That is official salary. But many of you have heard that Ukraine is a corrupt country. Ukraine, Russia, ex-USSR countries, they are corrupt. And people who work in government, they really earn from $2,000 up to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000. There are people in government who earn millions. Yes, there are people who earn more than $1 million per month just because they take bribes. And in many government positions there is even a plan for bribes. So if somebody works for government, they just must take those bribes. They have a plan. They must collect bribes. They get about 10% left for them, and 90% of those bribes go up to their boss, and that boss keeps 10% to himself, and 90% he gives to his boss, and so on, until money go to Kiev, to ministries. So that's just the way how it has been done here all the time. So from 1991 it has been done like that. And nothing is changing here, actually. And I don't think that something will change. That's just the way how it all goes. And I am asked many times by people who visited Kiev, they see those very, very expensive cars. Yes, there are many, many expensive cars in Kiev. There are Bentleys, there are Maybachs, there are Bentley Bentaygas, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, many expensive cars. And people ask, foreigners ask, from where do those money come from? How could people buy them when pensioners get, for example, like $100 or 100 euros per month? How can somebody buy a car that costs $500,000? And yes, almost all those cars are owned by people who work for government, or they are relatives of those people who work for government, or maybe they are lovers of those people who work for government. So if you see an expensive car, there is a person who works in government, a highly paid, highly ranked government official, who just can buy or can sponsor that car to his kid, to his brother, to his sister, or to his lover. But we're talking about people who earn much less. We talk about people who do not work in government, and managers, freelancers, drivers earn from about $500 to $600 and to about $1,000 or $1,500. Truck drivers earn from about $1,000 to $2,000, and people who work in construction industry, they earn from about $800 to $1,500. I talked about people in cities, and in villages salary may be from $100 to $200. But in villages there is almost no work. So people come from villages to cities to work, and some people may spend in public transport, in trains, in those buses that run between villages and cities, from 1 to 2 hours each day for one-way trip to a city, and 1 hour or 2 hours back from the city to the village. So people who live in villages, their life is really hard. At this point you will ask, how much money for an average family is enough per month? And I would say that between $600 to $800 for a family with 2 adults and a kid should be enough if that family lives in a big city. If family lives in Kiev, you should add about $300, I think, because life in Kiev is a little bit more expensive, and people who live in Kiev, they spend more money for entertainment, or people just come to Kiev to work and rent an apartment. They rent an apartment long term, and usually they pay $300. So for Kiev, it should be enough about $1,000 for a family with 2 adults and a kid. In the city, it is from about $600 to $700, maybe $800. If family doesn't have a car, you can subtract maybe $100 or $150. In Ukrainian villages, life is cheaper, and it is possible to survive for a family maybe for less than $200, maybe even for $100. But that's another story. Now let's go over some popular real jobs of girls whom you meet on dating or marriage agency websites and see how much money they earn. Of course, many of those girls earn much more money just by scamming you, from pay per letter, from video chats, from presents. I have discussed it in my previous videos, and make sure you watch my previous videos because I designed them in such way that they would be, let's say, relative and valid even after several years, after 5 years, or maybe even after 10 years. Check out my previous videos where I talked about letter writing, text chats, video chats, presents, and so on and so on. But when girls just come to marriage agencies where they are not experienced enough, they do other jobs, and many of them are barbers. I don't know why historically it is like this, but I would say that about 35% or maybe even 40% of those girls that you meet on dating agency websites are barbers, or those girls that just combine barber work with manicure work. So it may be barber manicurist, for example. It is simply because barbers do not need any higher education and can work after attending some barber courses that last about maybe a month or 2. Many girls after school do not even go to universities or to institutes and do not have any university education. They just go to such courses and they work as barbers after 1.5 or 2 months after finishing those courses. Barber in Ukraine must be registered as private entrepreneur or must be hired by a barber shop. But since not many barbershops, I think about 99% of barbershops, they just rent the space in their barbershop to a barber. So all barbers must be registered as private entrepreneur, and as private entrepreneur to rent that small space in the barber shop to work there. And they must be registered as private entrepreneurs, as labor department may come to any barber shop anytime, and actually they do such, let's say, sudden visits. And if they find out that some barber is not registered as private entrepreneur or is not hired by that barber shop, then there is a big fine to that barber shop owner. And fine is pretty high. It is 85,000 hryvnias, which is $3,000. So each girl barber must be registered as private entrepreneur. She pays about $100 of taxes per month, and in such way she works officially. Like 100% officially. Some of you would ask, how much money does the girl pay to the barbershop owner? And depending on the city, for example in Kiev, it would be about $500 to $600 per month. But barber works not every day, or barber may work every day, but in such case, one day she would work from morning till lunchtime, and another day she would work from lunchtime until evening. And of course, such barber would be sharing her space in the barber shop with somebody else, with some other barber. So in Kiev, for example, one barber place in a barber shop would bring to a barbershop owner about $1,000 to $1,200 per month. If we are talking about other cities in Ukraine like Odessa, Lviv, Kharkiv, Dnipro, Zaporozhye, renting a place in a barbershop would cost about $350 to $500. Depending on the location of barbershop and on how long that barbershop works in that area. If we are talking about small cities like Nikolaev, Kherson, Sumy, Berdyansk, Melitopol, Ternopil, Ivano-Frankivsk, renting a place in a barbershop would cost from around $200 to about $350. And in some very small cities, price of renting a place in a barbershop would be from about $100 to $200. Taking all this into account, we can calculate how much does a barber make per month. On average, each barber makes from about $50 to $80 per day. If we take 25 working days in a week, we can say that after paying those taxes and that rent, barber makes from about $1,000 to $1,500 per month. And I would say that in Kiev it would be about closer to $1,500. In cities like Odessa, Kharkiv, Lviv, Dnipro, it would be closer to about $1,000. And in small cities, it would be a little bit less than $1,000, maybe around $600 or $500 per month. In villages, there are no barber shops, and barbers go to houses and do all haircuts in the houses, and of course get paid in cash. So they are not registered anywhere. When barber is experienced enough and has a lot of clientele, most probably she would quit from the barber shop and would provide services in her apartment. In such way, she doesn't pay any taxes, doesn't pay any rent to a barber shop, and can make additional $300 to $500 or even $600 per month. So such barber in Kiev may earn about $2,000 per month, in cities of Ukraine about $1,500, and in small cities up to $1,000 per month. And that's how about 85% of barbers work in Ukraine. Of course, the more experienced the barber, the more clients she has, the more money she earns. And these numbers that I have discussed are just average numbers. Of course, they may be higher or smaller, depending on how long barber works and on her experience. Another popular category of women on those dating websites are manicurists, and those women work from very, very young age. Manicurist is another popular profession of those girls you meet on dating agency websites. As with barbers, girls have to finish some manicure courses about 1 or 2 months and have some experience, but no education is needed for such job. And some barbers may also be manicurists, but usually manicurists are manicurists. Many of them love their jobs and really experience every day and reach mastery in those jobs. Manicurists also start to work in barber shops or manicurist salons or beauty salons. They also must be registered as private entrepreneurs when they work there, but as with barber shops, they mostly rent a place in that barber shop or beauty salon. But at the beginning of their working career, let's call it like that, they earn less than barbers. Renting a space in that beauty salon would cost something like barber's pay, about $500 in Kiev, about $350 in smaller cities, and in small cities around $200 per month. But for about 1 or 2 or even 3 years after they start working, after we subtract taxes and rent, in Kiev they would earn about $1,000, in Odessa, Lviv, Kharkiv, Dnipro they would earn about $700, and in smaller cities about $500. But once they become experienced, they quit from those beauty salons and they work all at home. And once they start working from home, in Kiev manicurist might also as barber earn around $2,000 per month. In smaller cities like Odessa, Lviv, Dnipro, Kharkiv would earn about $1,200 to $1,500 per month, and in small cities from around $800 to $1,000 per month. But experienced manicurists move to Kiev, and in Kiev they may earn maybe even $3,000 or $4,000 per month. Really good experienced manicurists who service weddings, who work with wives of rich people in Kiev, might earn from around $5,000 per month. But on average, good manicurist earns from around $1,000 to $2,000 per month in Ukraine. Many barbers and manicurists combine their job with a so-called makeup specialist, a makeup artist. For example, I do not like to go to a barber, and that is why in some videos you may see that I have really a lot of hair sometimes. I don't have time for that, and I have one barber who cuts my hair for over 10 years now. She works at home. She used to work in a barber shop, but now she works at home. She doesn't want to rent a place in a barber shop. She has a lot of clients, and you just call her on the phone, schedule a meeting, like schedule a visit to her. And you go to her house, and, well, I go to her house. And in about 40 minutes, she cuts my hair. Haircut costs at this moment, like in February 2022, it costs 230 hryvnias. I usually pay her 300 with a tip. And she manages to cut my hair like in 40 minutes. And I know that she has about maybe 8 or 10 clients per day. And of course, women pay more money. And she also does makeup for women, and I think she earns about maybe $100, maybe a little bit more than $100 per day when she is working. I know that she is working 5 or 6 times per week, so that's about 20 to 24 working days, or let's say just 20 working days. So I think she makes between $2,000 and $3,000 per month, and that's just all in cash, tax free of course. When I worked in Kiev for a year, I lived in Kiev and I worked there for more than 1 year, I went to a barber who designed a one-room apartment for that. She was a barber and her sister was a manicurist, and of course they both made makeups for women. They both worked in barbershops, but then those two sisters managed to buy a one-room apartment. They designed that one-room apartment as 2 places for manicurists and 2 places for 2 barbers. And they were working together, and they rented 2 places, 1 place for manicurist and 1 place for barber, to other friends. And in such way, I think they both earned maybe about $7,000 to $8,000 per month. They were also servicing weddings on the weekends, and when barber services a wedding, she gets paid about $300 to $400 in Kiev. That's when bride and groom go to photo shoots, and it is work from the morning up to the very late in the evening. And for such job in Kiev, people pay from about $300 to $400, maybe $500. So I am sure they both earned maybe about $10,000 per month, maybe even more than $10,000. Many also work as realtors. They don't need any education. We don't have any education for realtors, no certification, nothing. And the prettier the realtor, the easier sometimes it is to close the deal. There should be said a lot about realtors in Ukraine, and we have a saying that every 20th person in Ukraine has tried to work as a realtor. Many people, especially young ones, see that commission for selling an apartment varies between 3 to 7%. It is 5% on the average. That is, if average price of an apartment, let's say, is $100,000, realtor earns $5,000. And many people think that they can sell maybe 5 or 7 apartments in a month and thus earn from 25 to 35,000 US dollars per month. Of course, it is not like that. When somebody is just starting to work as a realtor, he will not or she will not sell any apartment maybe for 6 or 9 months or even a year, because competition of realtors is very high on the Ukrainian market. 95% of sellers would never sign an exclusive agreement with any realtor, and one apartment or a house can be sold by 10 or 20 realtors. The one who sells it, of course, gets the price, the commission of 3 to 7%. If it is a house, commission would be about 3%. If it is a small apartment, commission can be up to 7 or even 8%. And in Ukraine nor in Russia, realtors are not registered as private entrepreneurs. Maybe about 10% are registered, but 90% are not registered and work only for cash. A good realtor in Ukraine sells about 1 property per month. A very good realtor can sell maybe 2 properties per month. So income of a realtor usually varies. In Kiev, for example, it would be, for a good realtor, from about $5,000 to $10,000. A really good realtor may earn from $10,000 to $20,000 per month. In cities, it would be from about $2,000 to $5,000 per month, and a very good realtor would earn up to $10,000 per month. In small cities, realtors earn from around $1,000 to $2,000, maybe $3,000 per month. I am talking at this moment about realtors who sell real estate. And there is also a category of realtors that work only with rental properties. They help people to rent their properties. Such realtors earn much less, of course. And in Kiev, they can earn per month between maybe $1,500 to $3,000. In cities, it would be from about $1,000 to $1,500, and in small cities, it would be up to $1,000 per month. Once again, these realtors usually are not registered anywhere, and they take only cash for their commission. If they are registered as private entrepreneurs, they pay about $100 in taxes per month and show minimal incomes. Of course, there are realtors that specialize on exclusive properties, on exclusive houses. But these are very experienced realtors, or they are relatives of some very rich people in Ukraine. These realtors work usually as a family business, or some rich man open such exclusive real estate companies, small real estate companies, for their wives. Such companies may make about one sale per month, but commission may be up to $50,000 or even $100,000 for one deal. In this video that you're watching right now, you can see an exclusive apartment for sale. You can see a private realtor, a young, very beautiful girl, and she's playing a role of a dumb blonde. Together with an experienced architect, they show exclusive apartments that are for sale, and architect explains to her everything in this apartment. She asks questions, for example, what is that and what is that, how does this work, how does that work, and he, as a specialist, he shows how everything works. He shows to a dumb blonde. This apartment with furniture that you see costs $2 million. By the way, it has been sold, and commission of this girl was from about $60,000 to $100,000 for selling this particular apartment. But that's an exception. You will never find such realtors on dating agency websites. Never. Usually those realtors that you see on dating agency websites earn from about $1,000 to $3,000 per month if they work as full-time realtors and if they are selling real estate. If they work only with rental real estate, then it is from $800 to about $1,500 per month. And in Ukraine we have indeed very many real estate agencies. In some agencies only 2 or 3 people may work, and they work, one person registers private entrepreneurship and signs all the documents. As a real estate agent is not liable for absolutely anything, it is just information services. They all try to sell any apartment as soon as possible. They never check absolutely anything and will be happy to sell an apartment with very big problems as well. But I have talked about it in other videos. Those of you who liked this realtor can look at her for a couple more minutes, and I will put a time code in this video where to scroll to skip on the next part of our video. Oh, and by the way, some of you may write me to introduce to this lady. This girl is married to a multi-millionaire in Kiev. Her husband has a lot of real estate in Kiev and houses in Kiev region, so would be very difficult to offer her something more than that guy has. He is worth around $100 million. But girl is very, very beautiful. Some work as teachers, assistants, translators, babysitters, assistants for children. Teachers who work in cities in schools earn from about $400 to $500 per month, and that's an official salary. If teacher is also giving private lessons, she may earn additional about $300, maybe $500. And there are many translators, private teachers, assistants who work unofficially and get paid in cash, about $500 per month. Babysitters in cities also earn from around $500 per month. There are many actually teachers who work in schools or universities and additionally work as translators and giving private lessons, thus earning up to $1,000 per month.
Старосвитский, у тебя вообще пустая голова. Нам нужно позаниматься с тобой вдвоем отдельно, через час после этой пары, если ты понимаешь, о чем я.
Would you hire such teacher or assistant? Please let me know in comments. Some also work as masseuses, providing massage services. But since massaging is very hard, not so many ladies you see on those dating websites actually provide massage services. But there are some that do provide such services. Masseuses, or as they are called, massage specialists here in Ukraine. The best massage specialists are usually men, because you need pretty strong hands to do a massage for like 40 minutes or 1 hour. But in Ukraine we have only about 10% of masseuses men and 90% are women. And I know for sure that there are a lot of such women on dating agency websites. In Ukraine we have several massage salons in every area of the city, and there are so-called massage rooms by several barber shops also. Usually when a woman just starts working as a masseuse, most probably she would start working from a massage salon, where she would be taught by specialists all the necessary techniques, and maybe after 2 weeks practice she would start working in such massage salon. Usually these women work in such massage salon for about a year and then quit and start their own, let's say, massage business. That's when woman either rents like a room in a barber shop and provides massage services there, or when maybe 2 or 3 friends who work in the same business open a massage salon themselves. But about 70 or maybe even 80% of those women who have experience in massages usually provide those massage services at home. They have like maybe 30 or 40 clients from the massage salon where they worked, and they provide the same massage for less money, comparing if the same massage would be done in a salon. And then they get more and more clients by word of mouth usually. Sometimes they give advertisements to local websites, on Instagram, on Facebook, but most of new clients come from word of mouth from the old clients. Of course, if girl works at home, then she pays no taxes at all. All payments are directly to her in cash. If they work in a massage salon or if they rent a room in a barber shop, for example, then they must be registered as private entrepreneurs. And they pay about like $100 per month for tax and for the accountant, and that's it. Depending on the experience of masseuse, massage costs from about $15 to $25. That's for 45 minutes massage session. In a massage salon, price would be about 50% more expensive. So in a massage salon it would be from about $25 to $40. If girl rents a room somewhere in the barber shop, she would most probably charge from $20 to $30. So going home to a masseuse is the cheapest option. And especially people who need a lot of massages, they of course try to find such massage specialists when they work from home and pay in cash. When massage specialist is working from home and when she has like a lot of clients, she may earn from $100 to $200 per day. So if she works like 20 days in a month, she earns from about $2,000 to $4,000. In massage salon, salary would be from about maybe $300 to $600 per month. That's why mostly all masseuses, when they have experience, quit job in the massage salon and work from home, because you can earn like 5 times more money comparing to the massage salon. But I must admit that it is not an easy job, and they do not work more than 20 days in a month. And when woman rents a room somewhere in a barber shop, she would earn the same, like from 2,000 to 4,000 US dollars per month, because in a barber shop you can charge more money than at home. And usually locations of those barber shops where they rent those rooms are much more convenient for clients than just going home to such masseuse. Let me know in comments, would you like to work as a masseuse as this woman? Would be very interesting to know. Please let me know in comments, would you open a massage salon yourself in Ukraine? I bet you would want to be a masseuse for such client yourself, even for free. Please let me know in comments. As I have discussed in this video, there are no doctors, lawyers, real estate developers on dating agency websites. You would not find such women with such jobs. When lady gets experienced with dating agency websites, when she learns some English, her main job will be scamming you. Will be sitting in the evening, in the night, and doing video chats, maybe text chats, maybe asking you for presents, and so on and so on. They would most probably quit their jobs and they would be sitting all night long and will be talking to foreigners on those dating agency websites, because that brings thousands and thousands of dollars each month, and those money are all in cash. She's sitting at home doing nothing, just smiling, typing, chatting, and earning thousands of US dollars. I sincerely hope you liked this video, and if you liked it, please don't forget to like it. I will be glad if you ask me any questions in comments to this video, because when I prepare for each video, I think that I have gathered as much information as I could into this video, but before uploading it, I see that I've missed out so many things, and it really disappoints me. So please ask questions that interest you in comments to this video. Please also tell me if you like this video with numbers or do you find them boring. It's really important for me to know your opinion so that I know if to plan such detailed videos for the future. Those of you who need my personal assistance, help or advice, you can always email me at my email address, and I always will be glad to help those people who really need help. Don't forget to like this video if you found this information useful, and of course subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that bell button so you don't miss out any other upcoming videos. As usual, I wish you all good luck, success, joy, happiness, tranquility, and of course stay healthy and wealthy.